Hi, this is Faith Divination with a YouTube reading, and we are going to do a what do your spirit guides, what are your angels, whatever you believe in, what do you need to know right now if you don't believe in anything that I just described, like angels or spirit guides, you're not into any of that spirituality. This could just take it in the lens of realism. What do you need to know right now? What should you know possibly to help you out in the future? But this is overall, what do your angels want you to know to either one, boost your confidence, help you out, give you confirmation, or to give you that last push to maybe change some things you need to change. But let's get into it. Okay, we're gonna get into this reading just straight off the bat. What do your spirit guides want you to know? Like what's the energy here? What do their angels want them to know? Okay, I'm guessing there's 3. Okay, so there is a consistent theme of 3 cards already because I've already shuffled. Let's see. South Node, life's debts. Okay. 6th house, routine. And then we have Sun, spirit. So just from these cards alone, so maybe some of you have either your sun in the 6th house, you have maybe a south node in the 6th house, which maybe this is going to be meant for me as well, because I do have a south node in the 6th house. And if you don't know astrology, because you don't know what the south node is, that's like kind of our past and past lives, like the things that we bring into this lifetime, the things that we carry, like are just things that like we feel comfortable and familiar with because we've lived in past lives, if you believe in that. If you don't believe in that, then just don't take what I'm saying right now, right? But if you have a south node in the 6th house, that means in past lives, like this is giving me like the nurses and the people that were on the battlefields and the people that were literally enslaved almost, the people that had to do a lot, because the 6th house deals with routine and like service. So you were in past lives more than likely like a nurse of some kind, or maybe right now in this lifetime you're a nurse of some kind, or you service people, right? You are and if you're not, then whatever. But in the past, yeah, like you kind of put your own needs, wants, maybe some of you in the past life, you did not have a choice but to put your needs and wants on the back burner, and you had to serve somebody, serve a family, serve your country, serve your people in general, serve your community in some way. So when you have your south node in your 6th house, like you are probably the type that likes to overextend yourself. You like to take care of people. It feels good when you take care of people. It feels good when you provide people services, because again, your south node is what you feel familiar with, and if it's in the 6th house, then you're more familiar with taking care of people and bringing services and having to really put a lot of physical and hard work in the physical just to have things like actually work for you. Like, let's just say, I feel like this collective, you're not the type that just gets handed things. Like, it might look like it because if you have a south node in the 6th house and you have a 12th house north node, and if you have a 12th house north node, the 12th house is all about spirituality, the unseen, the untangible. If this detail does not like fit with you, then just leave it. But yeah, this lifetime, if you have a north node in the 12th house, are more geared towards learning about spirituality, learning about things that are normally not seen. If the 6th house is the physical, the 12th house is the spiritual. So yeah, if you're north node, like you are meant to be here to really dive into your spirituality. A lot of the times too, the 12th house is like very isolated, it's kind of a darker house, I would say. It's one of those houses that are very uncomfortable because it has nothing to do with the physical world. Like you are separating yourself from the physical technically, right? Because you are moving into your spirit. Like the 12th house to me is your soul and like the afterlife in a sense, which I know the 8th house is that as well, but like I feel like the 12th house is like a look into that. And also the 12th house, because you know how I was saying, like, you might be a nurse, or in a past life you were like a nurse, or somebody that was like in the health field, or somebody that definitely serviced others. The 12th house deals with hospitals and institutions and like being isolated, right? So that's just some placements I'm seeing right now. And then like the sun in the 6th house, mind you, I am not an astrologer, so if I am speaking out of turn and I'm not even speaking correctly on these placements, feel free to clock me and feel free to educate me. But the sun, I feel like being in the 6th house, if that is a placement of yours, like a lot of your energy and a lot of your self-worth and self-esteem and the way that you feel about yourself does come from also your routines, because the 6th house, like, so you probably only feel good if you're working out, if you're paying attention to your physical health, if you're servicing others in some way, and like, you know, really like overextending yourself. Now, I don't know if that's true. Like, I'm truly just going off the top of my head here. Maybe when I'm done with this video, I will definitely look up the sun in the 6th house and give you, like, a better over generalized type of energy with it. But that's the placements I'm kind of seeing that this collective could have. But there is a message here with the South Node, life's debts, the 6th house routine, and sun and spirit. Like, maybe some of you need to, because again, maybe in the past where you have you feel indebted to people with that South Node energy, like you feel indebted to people, so you're constantly proving yourself by overextending yourself, never saying no, even when you want to say, look, I can't do this right now. You still do it because you feel like you have to. You don't want to let other people down. So you're always constantly overextending yourself in some way just to prove to yourself that you're worthy. Or because you had to, maybe in childhood, you always had to do things for your parents or your siblings, or, you know, you were kind of like the person people hung on and relied on to have things run smoothly. So some of you might have some like issues and things to work through with that, because you know what? You should not feel unworthy for existing just because you are not extending like a service towards others, or you're not like, what's the word, like useful towards others. Like, you are useful just because you exist. That is your birthright. You are worthy just by existing. And I feel like that's, if you have a 12th house and then if you have a North Node in the 12th house, that's what you are being taught this lifetime, is like not to overextend yourself so much, not to pour so much into your physical reality, and really start focusing on your spiritual journey, your soul, just being. Because you know, the 6th house is doing, 12th house is being. So you are probably learning the art of just being and being worthy by just being and not having to prove yourself constantly. And I feel like with this sun energy as well here, it's like, this is the energy you kind of want to be in here with the sun spirit. This is a very fun, creative, loving type energy here. And the sun just shines. Like, the sun provides, but it is just, like, again, here's an energy again of just being. The sun is just, it just does. Like, or not just does. Like, it literally is, it's just a, what's the word? Like, it just sits up in the sky. Like, it doesn't have to do anything. It just shines and does its purpose, like, by literally existing. So that's a theme as well, is learning how to just be and not having to constantly overextend yourself, overgive, provide others, be useful, just to like feel like you deserve a spot in life. So I don't know, this collective, I feel like your angels want you to know that it is okay to maybe not always push yourself to the hardest limits. It's okay to just be sometimes. Like, maybe some of you might just need to take a little break on constantly overworking yourself, constantly like taking on more tasks than what you really need to. And I know with this world, it's very, very hard to do that, because sometimes you don't have a choice. And again, if you're listening at the beginning when I said maybe in a past life, you did not have a choice, but you had to like push your wants, your needs, your physical body and your physical body's needs to the back burner, because you were either one, forced to, or you were like in a job or a situation where you had no choice but to keep working or power through the pain, power through the issues that you were going through, just so you could feel worthy, or just so you could have a spot in maybe a family, or maybe a job, a career, a country, right? That's past life energy, but this could, if you don't believe in past lives, take it with childhood as well, because maybe this is resonating with how your childhood felt, like you just always had to prove yourself by doing things for your family. Like, they never just would congratulate you or say, I'm proud of you, just for literally waking up and just being you. It was always you, and even when you probably did things, you probably never felt like enough, and they probably made you feel like you were not enough. Now, this could be past life energy or, again, childhood energy. Take it how it resonates, but I feel like your angels don't want you to keep overextending yourself, because if that's the case with this type of energy, you are very much at risk of burnout. And when you burn out because you overextend yourself, there's really not much of, like, there's not much room to come back from that, you know? So just make sure that you are also making your needs and your wants a priority, or you're at least balancing out the wants and the needs of maybe your job, your family, your partner, and yours, right? Because if not, you, I feel like, are on a very real path of burnout. And this is definitely giving like past life energy. This is something that you are meant to kind of move away from or integrate this lifetime. Like, you might be meant to, honestly, instead of always doing, learn how to be, learn how to attract, learn how you can just sit maybe sometimes, or take the more, not easier path, but not a path that you have to fight and dig yourself out of all the time, right? So I'm gonna get into tarot, but I feel like that's very interesting energy to get at the beginning of this. So maybe some of you are at a very big turning point. It's like, do you chase, or do you continue to do what feels familiar and like constantly put yourself up for like service that might, yeah, I don't know. There's just something like with routine as well. Like, maybe some of you are needing to change up your routine into more of a, like, a less rigid routine, maybe, because with that 12th house energy, you might need to have like a spiritual practice in place. You might have to kind of incorporate that 12th house energy. Like, if you're not doing spiritual work, then maybe you just need to make sure you are taking enough time to isolate yourself or withdraw from the world and people, because again, the 12th house is a very self house where you focus solely on your soul, yourself, your spiritual journey, also dreams too. So maybe some of you are big dreamers. When some of you have very vivid dreams, because that 12th house energy does deal with your subconscious mind. So maybe some of you are just needing to implement more of that 12th house energy into your routine in some way, instead of just solely busy work, responsibilities, proving your worth by doing things. So like, again, I feel like this collective, you're the type where it's like, you'll cook dinner, you'll clean the dishes, you'll mop the floors, you'll do literally their laundry, family too. Like, if you're in a household, like, let's say you're in a household and you feel like you have to do everything, or else you're either one, gonna get kicked out, you're gonna be told you're not good enough, and you're constantly, even if people around you love you and say, look, you don't need to do all of this, like, you are okay, you've done enough, you're probably the type that just constantly keeps feeling like they have to do and just, you know, prove yourself. I don't know if that made sense, okay? I feel like I'm kind of starting to talk a little bit crazy, but collective's angels want them to know. We're gonna confirm with tarot. What does this collective's angels want them to know? Knight of Swords. So again, there's that energy of pausing, because this is you know, the Knight of Swords upright, the Knight of Swords upright is go, 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 that do energy. I mean, he thinks of something and he's on it. Like, he doesn't even take much time to think about it. Like, it's a thought that enters his brain and then he's on to, you know, doing that. Or he's on to pursuing that. Or he's on to just doing. Reverse, though, that's this big pause energy, which is giving 12th house energy again, where you are needing to maybe take a pause, maybe not overextend yourself, maybe not rush yourself. Again, too, because this 6th house energy, like, when it's constant, because the 6th house is routines, that's daily life, and daily life is a constant. You know, you have to cook, you have to clean, you have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of your children, your partners, you know, you have to keep up with the housework, or else it all will not be, you know, it's kind of like a constant energy, but there is this energy of, again, you needing to pause, or maybe just learn how to not always rush and do. And again, too, with this Knight of Swords reverse, it's like this energy of withdraw, because, you know, like the Knight of Swords upright, he's always rushing in, he's always communicating. Like, this is the upright energy. This is the type of person that you message somebody and they're like instantly responding, they're always available. Maybe this collective, your angels are trying to let you know, maybe don't be so accessible. Maybe, you know, it's not always your job to do. Does that make sense? I really hope this reading is making sense, because this does feel like a very powerful message here of you are worthy enough without having to prove yourself, without having to do constantly. Or that's what you need to learn, is like how to feel worthy and how to feel useful with just being you and just existing. Now, I'm not going to say, because, you know, you have to balance that 6th house and 12th house energy. You have to balance that do energy and be energy. So I feel like you just need to learn when, you need to learn what the time, or what the right time to do is, and what the right time to be is. So I feel like you are constantly just doing and like jumping in and like taking care and like taking over things to get things done. And maybe some of you sometimes just need to be like, okay, you know, hands up, this is not my job, I don't need to take responsibility for this, this is somebody else's issue to deal with, or I need to take some time, right? I don't always have to do. That's a big message that I feel like they want you to kind of take, so that you're not overextending yourself, you're not giving your energy, you're not always accessible, and you're not draining yourself. Because again, as I was saying, you possibly could lead yourself into burnout, and when you lead yourself into burnout, you won't be able to do or be, because you're gonna be so down bad. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? That's why this is very important. You have to balance that out, so you're not doing too much. And if you are unfortunately in a spot in your life where you can't necessarily not do 24/7, then like start really thinking of ways that you can just make your life easier, even if it's the smallest little thing. Like, let's say maybe you have like a really packed schedule. Maybe just wake up 10 minutes earlier during the day, in the morning, take 10 minutes to yourself just to be. And if you are in a position, like let's say you don't have responsibilities like family, or, you know, I mean, you could let the housework slide for a day, you know what I mean? Like, make yourself in your life, you know, make your life easier. Just give yourself some time to be with yourself, be with your soul. Queen of Wands. So that's another thing they want you to know. Yeah, because you know what? The Queen of Wands, again, this is the energy of don't chase, don't do, just be, just attract. That is what you need to learn. Because there's a balance between, you know, because a lot of people, they just throw their hands up when they're trying to manifest or they're trying to attract things, and they're like, okay, like, God's got me, my angels got me, I don't have to put any work in. Now, I feel like your issue is like, oh, I always have to do, and you're not allowing God to come in or your angels to come in and, like, help you out, right? So this is definitely an energy of learning how to just be, how to just attract, and not putting so much pressure on yourself, because the Queen of Wands, she's a fun, loving type of energy. Like, she is very, like, creative, she's very abundant, she's very beautiful. She definitely attracts by just sitting on her throne and just being. Like, she is a beer, not a doer. Like, the Queen of Wands, though, like, she's just feeling herself, she's feeling good, she's just being, and she's attracting, right? Also, if you see the little cat on the picture, it's so cute. So you guys might have cats. Maybe some of you have a couple cats. Maybe you have just one cat that really resonates with you and, like, feels like you've literally lived lifetimes with them. And if I sound crazy, then I sound crazy. I don't think this is meant for you if I'm sounding crazy, but... So again, I feel like this collective, your angels are wanting you to learn how to attract and maybe not overdo yourself so much and feel like, okay, the only way I can get anything is if I work so hard. Which, there is nothing wrong with hard work. Hard work is a very valuable thing that a lot of people, like I was saying at the beginning, like, a lot of them will just throw their hands up and not put any work in. So I feel like this collective, you're on the other scale where you just put so much work in and you don't allow anything else to come in to surprise you or to bless you. And you're needing to balance that out with more time alone, more time just with yourself, more time just doing nothing. And I know that's so hard in this society, especially because we are made to feel lazy if we even take 30-minute nap, or if we don't clock into a job for one day because our mental health is slipping. Like, we are made to feel lazy if we're not constantly producing for this capitalistic society, which is sick. And I'm not even going to get into that right now because that makes me so mad in itself with the system and what's been coming out to light. So maybe some of you are also on that vibe and you're just disgusted and you don't want to be a part of society anymore. However, you also love servicing people, you love helping people, so it keeps you stuck, right? I feel like I'm just going on a tangent now, but anyways, definitely attracting instead of doing all the time. Balance is key with any type of energy like this, because you are meant to come in here to learn your North Node, because again, your North Node is not something that you're familiar with, like your 6th house, like, or like your North or your South Node. Like, your South Node is something that you've had in past lives. That's the energy that you've had in past lives that you carry in. That energy, whatever sign and house your North and South Node, whatever house your South Node is in, is normally the energy that you feel familiar with, that you feel very comfortable working with. However, your North Node, which I feel like this collective, your North Node definitely deals with 12th house energy. That's something that feels uncomfortable. Like, that's not something that feels like you've done before, and it's very hard to kind of step out of that South Node energy, things that feel comfortable. So your 12th house is the energy I feel like that you're trying to step into and kind of learn in this lifetime. I feel like overall you're familiar with always proving yourself, always constantly overextending yourself just to feel worthy, while you are meant to learn in this lifetime that you don't always have to do to be worthy or to be useful. Like, you just being you just working on your own path, your own soul, maybe taking some time to isolate, like, that is worthy enough as well. Like, you don't always have to show or provide proof that you are, like, a human being, right? that you are worthy as a human being. Okay, what else? What else do we want to know? The Magician reversed. Yeah, I feel like some of you are just having trouble, like, balancing, yeah. It's definitely something to do, like, I feel like this collective with this Five of Pentacles, like, crossing, it's like, you have such a fear of monetary loss, because maybe some of you have been broke, you know what it's like to be struggling, paycheck to paycheck, or even homeless, but I feel like a lot of you are having trouble balancing the feeling of, okay, I do have everything within me to attract the life I want, attract the opportunities I want. Like, again, I feel like this collective is just struggling, feeling like I can just be. You constantly feel like you have to do. And you're just needing to balance that out again with this Two of Pentacles. But right now you're really having a hard time, like, finding that good balance between doing and being. Alright, let's see. So that's, like, what the angels want you to know. So that was a very big message of maybe learning how to just attract, learning how to just be, so that you're not constantly overdoing yourself, overdoing it. But we're gonna see what's the energy if they learn how to balance this energy out. What's the energy here? What can they expect? Eight of Pentacles. Things will be moving forward for you. Like, you're gonna attract the right opportunities. That's the thing. When you learn how to just be, the right people, the right things, the right opportunities will find you. And then you can, like, choose what you want to work on. You can choose what you want to do and when you want to be. Does that make sense? I really hope this reading is making sense. But overall, I'm going to leave it here because this is beautiful energy, because this is something I feel like you are going to be learning and you're going to really be putting it into practice here. And you're going to see that things are actually turning in your favor, that things are working out, that things just magically somehow always find you. And if you see, this person is literally just sitting down, being, and look at all the pentacles that are just, like, right there for him to work on. Like, he's going to be working on this one, and then once he's done, because he's already done with one pentacle, once he's done with this one, this new pentacle, which is, like, again, people, places, opportunities, will be finding him. Or it's like, it will be, like, literally right there if he sits there. But if he gets up and he's doing and he's trying to find the next opportunity, he's going to miss out on all these pentacles. Do you understand what I'm saying, collective? This is a very, very powerful message. If you learn how to just be, the right people, the right things, the right opportunities will find you. Because you know how to put in the work. That's not the issue. You're a hard worker, collective. Like, that overall, you are such a hard worker, but you don't have to overextend yourself, because if you do that, you're gonna miss out, I feel like, on what's actually meant for you and what's easily, like, there for you, right? So I don't know, I think I'm gonna leave it there. But this collective, like, if you learn how to balance this energy, you are going to feel very, very accomplished, because the Eight of Pentacles is a very accomplished energy. Like, they are working and they're feeling fulfilled because their work is meaningful, their work is actually building something. But again, if you realize he's sitting there, he's not up chasing these opportunities, he's not up looking for the next pentacle, because if he does that, he's going to turn his back on all of this that's already right there for him. Do you understand what I'm saying? I really hope you do. But this was a very, very powerful message of, remember to attract, not chase. That's the overall message here. Attract, don't chase. And I feel like your life will improve so much easier. Like, things will fall into place, things will feel a lot easier for you, and things will feel more in alignment if you learn how to balance the doing and the being, the attracting and the chasing, right? So I hope this helped whoever it needed to. I hope it connected with who it needed to, and I hope you guys have a good night. I will see you later.